Okay, so hello, my name is Paula Barreiro López, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Université Grenoble Alpes and to this international conference, Transnational Solidarities and Visual Culture, Resistance and Revolutionary Memories from the World War II to the Cold War. This event is a coordinated conference of two research groups, one from the University of Grenoble Alpes, Partisan Resistance, that kicks off this very event, so this is the beginning, and the international research platform, Decentralized Modernities, Art, Politics, and Counterculture in the Transatlantic Axis during the Cold War, based at the University of Barcelona. And so, since 2015, Decentralized Modernities seeks to contribute to a new cartography of artistic practices during the Cold War in their collaboration and tensions with political practices and bringing into the equation the artistic and cultural production of countries across the Atlantic and its three-continental configuration. This is our last book there. And the new project, Partisan Resistance, that starts today with some of decentralized modernity people, but other voices too, new voices. We're happy to welcome them. Builds from this idea, but aims to work on a specific field of research, taking a long-term historical approach. Partisan Resistance focuses on the visual culture of anti-fascist resistance and its connections, tensions, and entanglements with the anti-imperialist and the anti-capitalist movements and contemporary social transformations, both images taken from Grenoble, one 1968, the other last year. In both cases, a major aim is to build a transnational history of artistic and visual practices, geographies, and complex relationships where the process of globalization that define our contemporaneity are already underway. Transnational solidarity movements were fundamental vehicles for global circulation, fraternity, and fight during the Cold War, determinant in the shaping of a multicultural and global society in which we live today. Despite many mainly being studied for their political aims or historical achievements, the role of visuality was crucial. Often, those movements federated a great deal of artists, photographers, graphic designers, and filmmakers. Visual productions, visual arts, graphic production, posters, cinema, and photography, video, were a founding element in coordinating causes, objectives, fueling the struggle, creating collective imaginations, hopes, desires, dissenting genealogies, as well as in transmitting revolutionary memories. These productions have been decisive in building the symbolic imagination of a future world with often innovative and experimental visual strategies. If this radical function can be seen in multiple objects, mediums, and places, as we will see in the following 2 days, thanks to you, the 1968 Havana exhibition Third Wall can be an illuminated example. Please, spare with me a moment. In January, the Cuban city received 500 delegates, intellectuals, artists, politicians, scientists, for the Cultural Congress shaped by the three-continental spirit. Created to build solidarity networks with the Global South and the North in intellectual and cultural circles, the main question was discussing the problems of the Third World. If those problems were dealt with during 5 days of extenuating seminars and presentations, debates, and conclusions, the same crucial issues were specifically approached visually in a collateral exhibition, organized by a team of young artists with a filmmaker, Rebecca Chavez, an architect, Fernando Pérez O'Reilly, a designer, José Gómez Fresquet Fremet, strongly supported by the Cuban state. You have to understand, 100 people work for doing this exhibition. It gathered different media, photography, painting, cinematography, music material, along with specimens of the flora and wildlife of the island. The effect was a multi-sensorial and agitprop experience that, fascinating and inspiring hundreds of visitors, translated and appropriated the main ideas of the debate, denouncing the imperialist policies of the US and raising the question of the place that the wretched of the earth had in the world politics. Y nosotros, explotados del mundo, ¿qué papel nos corresponde? Perdón. With a direct and unequivocal contraposition of images, sounds, and political messages, the organizers reinforced by a visual means the destabilizing role that the collective action and solidarity could have for fighting against imperialism. Despite the relevance of this exhibition, as well as other artifacts, productions, and collaborations of the Solidarity movement, its presence and consideration in our history and visual studies accounts is very limited. Even if, we know, in the last years, the research has surfaced and mainly connected to the memorial cycle of '68, but it's still rare to find transnational analysis focused on different media, even though I know that some of us, we will be in a conference in Brighton in 3 days, actually talking about radical 60s. So this is why this international conference has been organized. It seeks to explore the role of visual culture as a transnational vehicle for collective dissent and consciousness, and its agency in shaping social movements through international networks of resistance and solidarity. Solidarity proposed a framework that transcends national boundaries and connects movements, ideologies, and practices between the southern and northern hemispheres. Indeed, despite apparent difference between geographical contexts, visual production was often central to solidarity movements, and thus can be considered as a part of a transnational culture of resistance across the Western, Eastern Europe, European and Third World geographies that create local and global entanglements until now erased from our memory. Following upon our example, just 1 year later, the avant-gardist experimental exhibition, The Third Wall, was presented successfully in Havana in 1968. Part of the team traveled to France and adapted the show for a newly inaugurated Maison de la Culture de Grenoble, a newborn institution that appeared in the conjuncture of social activism, the ashes of resistance movement that were really strong here in the mountains, up to the mountains. Internationalization processes. Grenoble in '68 was had hold the Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games, and radical politics that still inform the very same city where this conference takes place, and we have one of the only ecological mayors in France. Being part of a Cuban week, the exhibition brought to the city in the Alpes before Paris, before Berlin, before New York, of course before New York, and other major capitals, not just the demands for social justice and social transformation, but the visual codification of those demands to be shared. As this small example shows, thinking through solidarity and collaboration can allow us to decentralize the map and show multiple axes of circulation when the common cause for social justice and social transformation was bringing together artists, designers, activists, and individuals from all around the world. This conference, therefore, aims to start discussing a deterritorialized mapping of solidarity movements in order to understand the connections between politically radical practices and visual culture. Important to this analysis will hence be a consideration of visual culture as social practice and visual culture as social action. Our aim is not only to thinking about how visual culture comes into content and fits into the social and political struggles of the resistance, but also asking, on the one hand, in what ways how it works effectively within these struggles. And on the other hand, of thinking in agreement with Mitchell about visual culture without reducing it to the social construction of the visual, but to the visual construction of the social. In our eyes, this approach is not is of crucial historical importance. Not only does it decentralize the hegemonic narratives of modernity and reveal counter-mapping, but it also encourages an archaeological exploration of the origin of solidarity movements, which places historical research at the center of critical dilemmas of the time. While the structural cultural heritage of post-war period is being called into question with the breakdown of the European model since the 2008 economic financial crisis and the strengthening of nationalism and the shielding of the borders in Europe, it seems urgent to return to these issues. Today's conference aims to open a public debate about these core ideas that underlie our research. Some specific questions were shared with you in the call for papers. For example, how is political activism channel mediated, advanced through visual and performative practices? Can we think of an aesthetic solidarity or an aesthetic of resistance? What are the potentials and challenges of mechanisms of resistance and solidarity, public interventions, pre-media, posters, affiches, cinema, photography? What are the challenges of collaboration? How does activism respond and contribute to the politicization of the public space? Other questions, I'm sure, I hope, will be raised during these 2 days of debate. Of course, all of these questions, all of these issues can just be done in a collective way. And this is why we are very grateful that you have responded to our call and that you are here with us today to discuss with us, to debate with us, a possibility that we hope will allow us to entertain a conversation and demonumentalize written knowledge, as Boaventura de Sousa Santos stressed. Because when we talk, we demonumentalize written knowledge. We hesitate, repeat ourselves. They are not footnotes. By being oralized, so to speak, written knowledge becomes demonumentalized and allows for horizontal exchanges in which non-written parts of written knowledge emerge. So finally, I would like to thank, I need to do my thank you round. I would like to thank strongly the co-organizers, Sonia, Kerfa, and Fabiola, Martínez, and all the people that help with the organization, Viviana, Aviva, Irving, Julian, Tobias, and our scientific committee. Thank you, guys. A big thank you for our laboratories, the LARHRA and the LCA4, the Université Grenoble Alpes and Grenoble IMP and St. Louis University and Decentralized Modernities, as without your support we couldn't provide with the means for doing this conference comfortably. So thank you very much. And you must notice, and I know that you know, that we are just 2 up here. We should be 3. Fabiola Martínez, with whom you have all been in contact via email, who was a key person for this conference. Unfortunately, she had an accident yesterday coming to the conference. She fell down and she was badly injured in Valence, so she is at the hospital. She is okay right now. I didn't want to give you an image of her in this poor condition, so I took a photo when we had some champagne with Serge Guilbault in our last conference. This is Fabiola. She's a very courageous woman, and so she needs rest for recovery. She will see us from home because we are recording the conference, so I think, well, she's thinking about us, and so I would like to send her our love and all our strength to get a well recovery. And so, this being said, as the papers of this conference will be recorded, you will be able to access the information visually again, and please do not hesitate to spread the word. The recordings will be available soon after the conference in our webpage, and so, and also consider to join the webpage because we occasionally we send some information. So thank you so much to all the speakers and chairs for the participation and interest in this debate. I have to say, usually our project, Decentralized Modernity, has one time per year a doctoral program. In this case, we merged the doctoral program with an international conference, so this is why we wanted to invite a big number of people that they are doing their PhD, and to put them in conversation with more advanced, I don't know, older scholars, you know, and try to I don't know how to say that, to create this kind of intergenerational debate. So you are very important, and thank you to be here. And last but not least, all thank yous for all the people that are here and they are not participating in the call in the conference. And now I give the floor to my dear colleague Sonia, that will give you more indications in French, in the spirit of fraternity and collaboration that leads this conference, about the organization of the 2 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula. Bonjour, merci Paula. Je vais plutôt vous apporter des informations logistiques sur l'organisation. Vous avez vu ce matin que j'étais un peu obsédée avec les tickets de tramway. Donc je vais être aussi obsédée avec d'autres éléments de l'organisation. Tout d'abord, merci Paula d'être à l'origine de ce projet. Merci à tous d'être là. Et dans cette université de Grenoble-Alpes qui vous souhaite la bienvenue. Donc je suis Sonia Kerfa et je ne fais pas partie du monde de l'art, j'appartiens à un département de langue, ce qui peut expliquer un peu que je sois, disons, dans une configuration un peu différente. Mais je ne m'inquiète pas, je pense que votre solidarité saura m'accueillir. Donc je voulais remercier surtout Paula, merci, qui est un peu le pivot et le cerveau de ce projet Modernité décentralisée, une modernité qui a atterri sur la chaîne des Alpes, le campus est entouré de montagnes et qui, j'en suis certaine, ce projet, j'en suis certaine et aussi j'en suis fière pour l'université française, va permettre d'atteindre, alors qu'il est déjà au perché, d'atteindre de plus hauts sommets. Ce colloque s'inscrit dans l'élargissement de MODES qui s'articule au projet IDEX Répare, résistance partisane, porté par Paula et dont cette manifestation est le premier épisode. Résistance partisane, culture visuelle, imaginaire collectif et mémoire révolutionnaire porte en lui une partie de solidarité qui en est une déclinaison presque naturelle. Ce territoire commun passe par un partage des mots, culture visuelle, qui est aussi mon champ de travail, puisque je travaille sur les aires culturelles, mais comme j'appartiens à un département de langue, je suis limitée, on peut le dire d'une certaine façon, à l'ère hispanophone. Donc, ce territoire commun passe par un partage des mots, culture visuelle et mémoire révolutionnaire. Résistance partisane, mais ici nous sommes ensemble pour parler de solidarité, ce qui n'est pas tout à fait la même chose. Pas tout à fait la même chose que résistance. On peut résister tout seul, pas beaucoup, ni très longtemps, mais on ne peut jamais être solidaire seul. C'est un non-sens. Nous allons donc être ensemble, très liés et très unis pendant 2 jours pour faire le déplacement dans le temps et dans l'espace de ces solidarités revisitées. Et je tiens à dire que nous en avons besoin en France, et je parle depuis la France, ce pays qui a inventé un délit de solidarité, c'est-à-dire un crime si un ressortissant français venait à aider un migrant. Donc, si je suis fière d'accueillir le projet Modernité décentralisée, je suis un peu honteuse de l'archaïsme français. Et je tiens à dire que ce colloque et ce projet ne peuvent que faire du bien au pays de la liberté, de la fraternité et de l'égalité. Cela peut faire du bien, d'autant plus que l'atmosphère générale va à l'encontre de cet élan qui porte votre projet. Je veux juste donner un exemple que j'ai écouté hier à la radio au sujet d'une revue très à la mode en France, qui est une revue spécialisée en musique, qui s'appelle les inrecuptibles. Donc il y a le mot rock dedans, et nous savons quelle force le mot rock, quelle force dissidente le mot rock peut transporter. La revue Les Inrecuptibles se consacre à la musique, et dans les statistiques de la revue, c'est une anecdote qui est une anecdote pour moi significative. Quand cette revue de la musique met en couverture un musicien noir, et la musique noire est un champ de dissidence qu'on ne peut pas contester, quand un musicien noir fait la couverture de la revue, ses chutes baissent de 30%. Donc nous avons besoin aussi de ce regard sur la culture visuelle. Cette introduction critique vis-à-vis de mon pays, que j'aime par ailleurs, puisqu'il a su accueillir Paula et qui va vous accueillir très bien, cette introduction critique ne me permet pas, ne m'empêche pas, pardon, d'avoir ce regard organisationnel, pour ne pas dire obsessionnel, sur les 4 sessions, 2 par jour. Vous avez le programme, mais je vais vous donner une lecture plus logistique de ce programme. Donc, la première session commencera à 10h. Donc, Madame Barreiro, vous êtes en retard.
D'accord, déjà.
Donc, on ne va pas trop se décentraliser. Donc, chaque communication durera 30 minutes et sera suivie d'un débat de 10 minutes. Après les 2 premières interventions, nous aurons une pause café de 11h20 à 11h45, puis 2 interventions jusqu'à la pause déjeuner que nous prendrons ici, en bas, sous la forme d'un buffet. Je donne ces horaires pour montrer à quel point il faut être ponctuel et bien respecter le temps de parole. Vous entendrez une cloche qui vient d'un couvent de religieuses de Géorgie qui nous rappellera que l'heure est sacrée. Après le déjeuner, nous aurons une conférence de 14h30 à 15h30. Ensuite, la session 2 commencera dans la foulée avec une intervention suivie d'une pause café. Tout au long de ces interventions, comme l'a dit Paula, il faut ouvrir le débat. Nous sommes dans un petit comité, peut-être même comme dans une forme de couvent, retiré pour une retraite spirituelle que nous voulons très intellectuelle et évidemment aussi très dynamique. La session 2 commencera avec une intervention, elle sera suivie d'une pause, puis 2 autres interventions. Nous finirons à 17h50. Donc je résume. Une journée de 10h à 17h50 en théorie avec une pause déjeuner, et nous nous retrouverons à 20h pour un rendez-vous au restaurant Le 5. C'est le restaurant du musée de Grenoble, arrêt de tram Notre-Dame Musée. Je reviens au ticket. Bon. Deuxième matinée, celle du 25, elle s'organisera exactement sur le même schéma. En revanche, il y aura des changements dans l'après-midi avec une projection débat autour du documentaire David Alfaro Siqueiros, La década de la rebeldía 1960, donc de Irénée Erner, que nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir. Ce débat devait être mené par Fabiola, mais nous verrons comment nous allons nous organiser. Puis la session 4 débutera à 15h avec 2 interventions et se terminera par la seconde conférence. Après la conférence de Cristina Wolf Cuevas, nous aurons celle de Boyana Piscour qui est ici avec nous. Et le colloque se clôturera par une mise en commun de Paula et moi-même jusqu'à 18h30. Nous partirons ensuite au pique-nique pour, depuis les hauteurs, continuer ensemble à discuter de ces interventions qui seront forcément, nécessairement et, j'allais dire, absolument nécessaires, intéressantes. Voilà, je termine et je voulais vous remercier.